Hey!
Never the same, what can we say? Well, good morning. It's Penny and Tasha, Penny's 2 Cents, and we're here again today. But what we're going to talk about today, I think, is so important. It's about creating a good job description.
Yes.
So often, employers are like, well, I need somebody to really be good, to show up each day on time, and to really give me a full day's work.
Yeah, I don't think they're even thinking about the description. They're just thinking, I need to hire somebody. What do I need to do? Put it out there. Okay, how do I do that? Get a job description and how to contact us, and they'll come back. That's it.
Wrong. That's
Yeah.
not it. And if you do something that simple, you're going to have a lot of turnover because you're not going to be hiring the right people.
Right.
Because you don't have a good job description, right? So a good job description, and this is something, when my daughter was going to college, I remember very clearly that we were trying to figure out what she was going to need. So I said, well, let's talk about what you're going to need from the minute you wake up in the morning until you go to sleep at night. And this was kind of like personal effects, for the shower, for the bathroom, for school, whatever. It didn't matter, but it was a whole thing. So this is kind of similar. Go through the entire day of what you want somebody to do in the job that you need.
Yes. Go ahead and it's a little bit of a hassle, but go ahead and set aside time to think through what do you want that person to do from the time they walk in that door and sit at their desk to when they get up and leave to go home. What kind of things are important to you? What are the things that irritate you about the person that was before them?
But how about if it was your wife?
Or, yeah.
Or sister or brother?
Yeah. Just, what was the problem and how do you want to remedy that? And so have that in mind when you're writing that description.
And really a best practice is write it all out. That you're not going to give this to somebody. You're not going to post it that way.
Yes.
But put it all out, because if you need somebody to go get the mail from the post office at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then do you need them? Are they going to take your vehicle, or do they need a vehicle of their own to take?
What do you call it when you put down everything?
It's throw it. It's like the kitchen sink or throw it against the wall kind of thing.
Well, just you putting everything down. It's called.
I don't know. What
I can't remember what it's called, but golly, that's terrible.
But we described it. So.
Yes.
All right. So when, like for example, if you're in a job description, you say flexible schedule. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Flexible schedule. Because flexible to you and flexible to me, they may be two entirely different
Because I might be looking for a part-time job and I want certain hours, or they might change daily. You said flexible, so I'm thinking I can make my own hours and come whenever I want to because it's flexible.
Right. So if you say basic computer skills, what does that mean? And one of the things that we learned, and I learned especially being in the staffing business, is that so many people use their phones for everything. Do they know how to turn on a computer?
Exactly.
Right?
They can do everything on the computer, on the phone, but they don't know how to use either the laptop or the desktop that you've got them to work on.
They may not know how to log in or anything, so you need to check that out as well to make sure
that should be included with your basic skills, not phone skills, but computer skills. Phone skills should be a phone, an office phone, and not your cell phone.
Oh, and that brings up a good point. I mean, office phones can be very, very tricky. If you've got a hardline phone and you expect somebody to transfer or to put on hold or to conference call, I remember, I had written like a cheat sheet on how to use that stupid conference call process. Never got it right the first time. Always got it wrong. And, there's some people that can do, I just didn't know how to do it. But, so if that's something, you just want to make sure people understand what they're expecting.
Yeah.
If you are the person that's going to be conferencing in all these people, then they certainly need to have the ability to learn, right?
Yes, they do. And you need to understand, like, what does it mean, people skills or customer skills, great customer skills or good customer skills.
Yeah, what does that
exactly what are you looking for?
Right.
Because, some people might want someone to be very, very direct and get them in and out quickly, and some others want you to drag it on. Want you to be just polite to everybody, and they can stay on the phone as long as you want to. But if you're a busy office, you want someone who has the skills to get people off the phone quickly, but in a very nice, pleasant manner.
And the other thing, attire. let people know how they can dress or not dress, how you feel about tattoos and piercings. You know, I mean, you know, some people will say, well, I want, you know, we have a lot of clients that come in, so I'm not real fond of tattoos or piercings. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Are earrings okay?
Yeah.
Or-
Who are you actually trying to eliminate in your job, in your description of what you want?
Right,
And,
right.
And you know, the job description does two things, Penny. It does gives the employer an idea, satisfies their need to advertise, I need someone. But it also gives them a guideline or some points to follow when they're interviewing to know, does this person actually qualify for the job that I want? These are the things I want. When you add things like and more, do you have an idea as an employer what you mean by that? Or are you just saying, I'm just covering this and I'm just going to put it down? What is your and more? You know, kind of like, do you remember Gilligan's Island? It's an old TV show.
Unfortunately, I do.
Okay, it's an old TV show that it's on reruns. And but one of the things that used to crack me up in it was that in the very beginning of the show, they would go down the list of Gilligan and then they would say and the rest, you know, meaning the rest of the crew. And then in a couple seasons later, we realized the rest of the crew is just two people. You know, it's just two more people. And they just didn't add them to that first song, you know, because then at the end it was and Professor and Marianne. They were the rest, you know. And so when you do the other, you know, do you know what you really have in mind, or are you just saying that so you can add things to it? And remember also that when you're adding that, those addings.
Wait a minute, I'm just, what an interesting example of Gilligan's Island. All right. I was getting, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But when you have your addition, is it important to your description when the others? Because if that's true, then when they're working on that job, you can't make those precedents over the actual job description.
Oh, and you know, it's so
You shouldn't make those precedents.
it so puts you off, right? It's like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for that. And you're like, well, I put an other on the job description. Well, that's really, like if somebody says, well, an other means you have to host something on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and you're totally out of your comfort
That
zone.
should have been in the
Right, right.
initial
Yes,
job description.
in the initial job description. So you've got to be very clear on instructions. You really shouldn't keep anything back. You need to, let me just, I'm just looking at our notes because, oh, the skills test is really big. You know, so we talked about the skills test. It's enough to reiterate again.
Yeah, if you're expecting a specific skill, do you have a test for them to show that
good
they
idea.
have it?
Yep, good idea. Yeah, testing is very important. And but you know, if somebody's going to be on their computer all the time, because in so many businesses we are on our computer all the time, are there specific things? You know, there's proprietary things to every business. So whatever those specific things are, you need to identify if the person has the ability to do that, because they're going to have to learn your proprietary system.
Yes.
So you've got to recognize if they've got the ability to do what
Yeah.
you need to be done, because there's nothing worse than you hire someone and you realize early on they did not have the ability.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So, well, I think this was pretty interesting.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, there's more things
Especially
you can talk
Gilligan's
about.
Island. So,
But you know, please add your comments and subscribe, and we just really appreciate you.
thank you so much. Out. That was a good one. What'd you think?
Good.